It's not often a player can walk on as a non-scholarship invitee, then walk off his side of the ball as the best player in his conference. Yet with today's nomination as Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, that's exactly what Penn State's Carl Nassib has done. Nassib set a Penn State single-season school record and led the country in sacks with 15.5 quarterback takedowns this year. 6'7" defensive end also forced 6 fumbles, once again best in the country. This despite being limited to just a handful of snaps in the Nittany Lions' final 2 games while dealing with a hamstring injury. We are joined now by the 2015 Defensive Player of the Year, Carl Nassib. Carl, what does it mean to receive this honor in a league that is absolutely loaded with talent on the defensive side of the ball?
It's incredible to have this honor, and I'm really proud to represent Penn State and represent my team in a great honor like this. Is pretty cool.
Carl, not a lot of folks outside State College saw this kind of year coming for you. So how did it happen?
Well, to be honest, neither did I. I just took a lot of hard work over a long period of time, and when my opportunity, came knocking, I was ready for it. So I had a lot of help on the way from my coaches, my teammates, my family, and couldn't have done it, without God. And I feel like every day that, He's with me, and I think it's, all up to Him.
Carl, I've spoken with some of your teammates this year, and they've told me that you practice every play like the opponent has a 4th and 1 at your goal line. Where does that mindset and that motivation come from?
Well, a lot of people, dread practice or just kind of want to get through it. I love practice, and I love every chance that I get to play, the sport, because you only have a small window to play this game, and I love this game. And so anytime I get to hit somebody, I want to go all out. And, I think that everything that you do in practice translates to the field is, one of the huge things I've learned as my time here. So, yeah, I get pretty intense during practice.
I've heard not just during practice, but I've heard you're something to behold inside the weight room. How do you attack the weight room when you walk into that room every day?
I live in the weight room. Just when I came in here, I was, very undersized, and I just knew I had to, dedicate myself, and I knew that was the place that was going to get me to where I want to be. And every time I go in there, I just, I want to make the most of my time and go as hard as I possibly could.
As good as 2015 has been for you, how frustrating were the last 2 weeks with the losses to Michigan and Michigan State, and you individually being limited by that hamstring injury?
Yeah, these past 2 weeks were probably the most frustrating 2 weeks in a long time. All I wanted to do was get out and help my team win, and I was limited and couldn't do that, and that was really rough. But everything happens for a reason, so hopefully, get better soon.
Carl, everyone knows your story. You arrive as a preferred walk-on. Now you are the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. What message would you have out there for other guys who may be undersized, who maybe are not getting the attention from those major college football programs as they get ready to embark on their collegiate careers?
If I had to give one message to those players that feel like they're undersized or they can't play, I would say you can't control your talent level, can't control your size. But what you can control is how hard you work. And if you want to get to where you want to be, you have to know without a doubt that you're the hardest working person in your class, on your team, like in your program, and nobody's going to work harder than you, and no one's going to beat you out. And that's this message I would send to any walk-on or any player.
You now wait to find out your bowl destination. As lovely as State College is in December and January, there are some other nicer weather venues that would be welcoming Penn State this year. Do you have a preference for your bowl location or opponent?
I really don't have a preference. I just, going a month without playing football is going to be tough, so I just can't wait to get back out there and, hit somebody.
Well said, and a big reason why you are 2015 Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, Carl Nassib from Penn State. Carl, congratulations. We truly appreciate the time.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate your time, too.